Time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up. With G-I-J.
Oh my God.
What up? What is cracking, everybody? It's your boy Jay in the building.
I'm Gene.
And y'all know y'all leveling up with Gene and Jay.
Yes.
We got a big guest here today.
We do. We got
wanna give
motherfucking Amanda Yang.
What's cracking,
in the
Amanda?
house.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank
Live
you.
and direct. So Amanda is a songwriter,
Yep.
a singer. You're on Spotify. You're on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there's quite a bit then. I mean,
Yeah.
you're all over it then. All multiple platforms and
I'm
stuff.
trying. I'm really trying.
Okay.
You were on the radio
Yeah, that was crazy.
not too long ago.
Yeah, I was. That happened organically. That was pretty cool. Basically, I had an article in Music in Minnesota.
Right.
And the current host listened to it.
Okay.
And she just emailed me she reads it. And she emailed me after she read the article about my new song, Sideline Girl.
Hey,
Hey.
Sideline Girl.
Yeah, exactly. And I just get
That bangs.
I get this email from her, and she's like, "Hey, just read your article about your new song, and it's really good. You got a clean version that I could put on the radio?"
Right. Okay.
I didn't have a clean version.
So what'd you have to do?
I kicked it into high gear, and I hit my producer up, and I was like, any way we can make a clean version? Like, should we just cut out the whole F word? Like, what should we do?
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, can you do a take of you saying the word fought? Because that was my idea. I was like, I could sing fought instead of fuck. And like,
yeah.
we could try to swing it.
Yeah.
So I did that, sent it to him, and he tried to like cut that one word in, and then sent it to the mastering engineer. He's like, it kind of sounds weird. Like, I think we should just cut the whole word out.
Yeah.
And after like a consensus with my friends, they're like, we like fought. So I have that version.
Right.
Sent it over to this woman. Let's see. Actually, I don't want to assume. I don't know their pronouns. So I sent it over to them like 3 days later. And I was like, yeah, totally. Here's the
Right.
clean version.
Yeah.
And then she featured it that Sunday, which was like 2 days later.
Okay. And I think, were you out of town or like leaving out of town or something like that?
I was in Florida visiting my parents because they just moved there. So.
Wow. So you got like the news of it like on the way there or you were already there? And
Yep. They emailed me and said, hey, we're going to feature you on Sunday at 7 p.m. And I'm over here like, I'm going to be on a plane. I'm not going to be able to like listen to
Right,
this.
yeah.
So I had my fiance. I was like, you need to go record this in the car. Make it look like I'm sitting in the car listening to it because I need that video.
Did he do it then?
He did it.
Shout out to
Nice.
for the fiance for
Yeah,
getting that done.
He
Right.
pulled through.
So
That's
you
what's
must
up.
have a proud mama. Well, how does she feel about the whole situation? Being on the
Yeah.
radio and
I think she's proud.
Yeah.
You know, I think being a musician is definitely not what she pictured for me when
Right.
she was growing up.
Well, I was going to ask that. Should we start from the beginning?
yeah,
then?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and tell us, like, you know, when we were talking before we started recording, you said you've been doing this for quite some time. So
Yeah.
bring us back to the beginning.
Okay. All right. So I am Hmong American.
Okay.
First generation. My parents came over when they're, I think, like 4 or 3 or 5.
Yeah.
After the Vietnam War. And essentially, they had an arranged marriage, and then they had us, me and my
Right.
sister. Eventually got divorced, and I'll get into that.
Yeah.
But let's see.
So were they from Vietnam?
So I forget which one is from where. I think my mom is from Thailand or Laos,
Okay.
or vice versa for my dad.
Sure.
So they moved around quite a lot, is what I've heard. Like they moved to a bunch of different refugee camps and all over the country there.
Was
the
this like
countries
back in
there.
like the 70s or?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know my exact dates.
Hey, no, I forget my mom's birthday every once in a while. Mom, don't kill me. I know it's March 3rd.
Mom, I'm not the only one.
There you go.
But yeah, so they raised us. My mom raised me and my sister for a little bit, and
Yeah.
she remarried a white guy. So my stepdad is white. I don't really know his nationality, I guess.
Right.
But growing up, the idea was for me to just like go to school, go to college, and get a
Yeah.
degree, go get a good paying job.
Yeah.
Anything over $100,000, that's the plan, right? That's what
That's the end
like,
game right there.
That's what would make my mom very happy.
Right.
So I went to college, or I tried to go to college. I never understood what college was because I just love music so much.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I'm going too fast.
Were you in the States at this time? Were you born in the States?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I skipped over my whole childhood. Yeah.
awesome.
So I was born here.
Okay.
So was my sister. So first generation here. Grew up with music, just like playing as in like the Hmong radio stations. Like all I heard was like za, which is like Hmong, like folk music is what I would call it, and just listening to Hmong people talk through the radio. And then the only type of like American music that I would hear would be through like maybe my uncle's when
okay.
he had like this whole like boom box sound stereo system
Oh,
with like,
yeah.
you know, the ones where like you could put multiple CDs in it and it'd like rotate.
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
The old school right there. Oh, that was classic.
He had that. But then my exposure to music really came through like riding the bus.
Okay.
So we would listen to B96 every morning.
Yeah.
Which was like a heavy hip hop rotation station.
Yeah, I remember when that first kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I grew up listening to that, riding the bus to elementary school, and then also like 101.3 every now and then.
Yep.
So, come like to high school, like I've always just been singing at school, never had actual like professional like training classes for singing or whatever.
Right.
My mom claims that she pushed me into music because I was a very lonely kid.
Okay.
And
Really?
I needed some way to make friends.
Sure.
It's
So
just-
when you say like lonely, were you just like antisocial, or you just weren't ready to talk to people, or
No, that's a really good
just
question.
more of a personal person?
I might have been just like more antisocial and like
Yeah.
introverted as a kid. I was also like such a chunky kid, so I wonder if just being a little chubby,
Sure.
not as confident.
Right. Right.
But she pushed me into that. I continued singing in school, and then in high school when I was like 15, I started posting like acoustic covers. I think it was like Bruno Mars's "Marry You."
Yeah.
On the floor of the bathroom, like with my iPod Touch on the drawer.
Yes.
Yeah, just
I love it.
Just me like jamming out and singing that. And I remember my mom and my dad were super against being on the internet just because stranger danger.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel that.
But I did not care.
Yeah.
Right.
So I did it
Felt
anyway.
that rebellion
gosh.
or whatever.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
definitely the most like rebellious child they had this far.
I think that happens though when like, as parents now that we're older and stuff, I consider myself a strict parent, even though like back then I always thought my mom was tripping, but back
Right.
then it was street lights, when the street lights come on home. But like for me now, stranger danger. I don't trust nobody. I always tell my kids, it's not you I don't trust. It's the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So I get that.
We just let our 16-year-old get on Facebook last
Just
Big
just
moves.
last week.
Big moves.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Congratulations to her.
Just.
I would be so mad.
I mean, maybe Clea had an account and we didn't know about it. But
Yeah.
I was just gonna say
Yeah,
that.
it's
Like,
Kids always got like a second, third secret account. You know what I mean?
So, where did you grow up?
so I grew up in St. Paul.
You grew up in St. Paul. Okay.
But I like moved all around Minnesota. So I've lived in St. Paul for a good chunk of my life. I think there was like 6 months we lived in Egan, and then we lived in where is it? Like Crystal for a little bit, and Plymouth, and then Coon Rapids, and then Red Wing. is
Right.
Oh,
where-
so you were moving around,
yeah,
moving.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know what it was. My parents they like to be close to where they work. So
Sure, I feel that.
Yeah.
I want to be a mile away from where I work.
Yeah.
that's nice though, because
Yeah.
it's super convenient. But like to uproot
Saves
everybody
gas, that's for sure.
and like
Right.
move them, it was a lot.
What was it like being a Hmong American growing up? Did you was it normal, or did you have any kind of like issues? I know being African American, we
Yeah.
had issues from
Yeah.
time to time.
Fair share of racism, bigotry,
Yeah.
harassment, all that. And
That's a great question. Not only am I like Hmong American, but my mom did like a big taboo thing, and she remarried a white American male.
okay.
And like at the time when she did that, the world was not as progressive as
Yeah.
it is now,
Right.
especially our culture. So she got a lot of flack for it. And I remember being like, what was I, 8 or 9 maybe, just hearing from relatives, you know, like talking amongst themselves in a room where I was in, thinking that I couldn't hear them, but I could hear exactly what they were saying. And they weren't saying very like nice things, and just in general.
About your mom?
Yeah, just like about my mom, or like about the situation,
Gotcha.
that we're now in, me and my sister now having like an American white dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, looking back, it's probably the best thing that's ever happened
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
to me. I think it helped to expose me to different types of music. So like looking at it from that perspective, because he brought like rock and roll into my life, and literally I cannot unhear it. His ringtone was that a Guns N' Roses song.
Okay.
Knock, knock, knocking on. Or no, is that even a Guns N' Roses song?
I'm not. I don't know a lot of the music. I grew up in R&B.
Oh, no,
I think I had
no.
one Guns N' Roses shirt. And
Okay,
didn't even know.
okay.
It just looked cool.
I might have just butchered that.
But those are legends, though. I get it, you know. So he had some legendary rock music on there and stuff. Okay.
So he exposed me to a bunch of different music, and he also played guitar.
Okay.
So that inspired me to want to play guitar as well. So I don't know, just that idea of just musicianship in itself.
Yeah.
But because I like grew up in a house where we mostly spoke English because he didn't speak Hmong, you know.
Right.
I guess I like adopted this accent that didn't sound like my other Hmong friends in school.
Okay.
And so just with that in itself, created this weird split, like in schools, when I was in middle school and high school, where they'd be like, you sound so whitewashed. Oh, and I hate that term so much.
Yeah.
Yep, I've gotten that
Have you?
sometimes, you know, if I'm talking proper, people sounds
Which is so
white,
annoying.
like, I'm saying some proper words. you
Yeah.
know.
Like, just because we're not white, we're not intelligent or something. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, so, yeah, I get that 100%.
Yeah, so that happened a lot. And I think because, you know, when you get greeted with, oh, you're so whitewashed, you don't really want to hang out with people that just think of you as just that one Hmong kid that is white.
Yeah.
I
Right,
guess.
right.
So I gravitated toward different groups, and we really just like didn't hold myself to like one like group at school. I guess that was
okay.
it. And from there, I was able to like meet a bunch of different people and beyond my culture and experience a bunch of different like things. But growing up like Hmong American, it has been very different for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, just for me alone, you know, like, I like to consider myself a human hot dog. You know, I'm a mixed
What
race
is
baby.
that?
You know, human. I got a little bit of everything in me. You know what I mean? Like my on my dad's side, like my grandfather and grandmother were black and Jamaican. So I have that breed within it. I got also Native American in me. And then on my mom's white side, you know, like Irish, German, all that kind of stuff. So when people would ask me, I just got this list. I'm just, you know what? I'm a human hot dog, bro. I got a little bit of everything in me. So, but having that, it comes with its package of struggles. You know what I mean? Like my brother and I growing up, you know, you would have black folks that hated us, you know, because our mom was white. We had white folks that hated us because our mom was with a black man and created us, you know, and just that whole divide right there. You know, you got this race war already happening, and then we're like right in the middle, getting hate from both sides. So it was a struggle, yeah.
Isn't it crazy that that's like an issue?
Yeah.
Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah. We were just talking about that in one of our last podcasts, right? Like talking about how the whole critical race theory and how it's a mental construct in a certain sense. Like it was built and designed strictly for power and, you know, control, you know, and it's just sad that in 2022 we still struggle with that.
So let me ask you a question. Did your stepfather like show you the ropes with the guitar then, since he was a guitar player?
That's a good question.
It's a good one, yeah.
I don't actually think he like showed me the ropes.
Sure.
I don't think he knew enough of guitar to like be a proper teacher.
Right.
But like, you know how like people know that one song that they just always play all the time? It was like that for him.
Sure.
So he had an electric guitar with an amp that I used to like plug in and pretend I knew how to play all the time. But that was really the extent of it. And then my guitar skills came from like watching YouTube.
Yeah, let's elaborate on that.
Yeah.
So you taught yourself
Self-taught him.
or by watching YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Shout out to YouTube,
For
the place where you can
real.
learn anything. You know?
honestly, you could get your whole like degree on there without the
100%.
paper if you really wanted
I've
to.
done car work on our cars.
Yeah,
Watching
100%.
YouTube videos.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
So you started watching videos,
Mm-hmm.
and were they videos of other people trying to teach people how to play the guitar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as simple as that.
Yeah.
So my biological dad got this guitar from his ex, and he broke up with her or whatever, and goes, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, do
100%.
I want this?" And
Right.
so I got it from him, and then went straight home. There's a song called "You and I" by JRA. Like he was this huge artist back, like in the YouTube days, is what I like to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a simple like plucking pattern with these basic chords, and I watched a tutorial of some guy teaching you how to play it, and
Okay.
and then I learned how to play guitar through that, and then I started learning other songs, and I just realized that a lot of the popular songs are like 4 chords.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so you unlocked that.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute here.
Yep.
No, no, no. Like, okay, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Do you guys play instruments?
I dabbled
No.
in piano off and on, kind of like what you did. You know, like I would see a song and like I tried to do my own cover and stuff, like try to play it on piano and everything. But then I'd forget the keys, you know, and forget what it was. But
I do not play, but I gotta say I envy folks that do play. I would love to just pick up a guitar.
I don't know, man. You seem like a harmonica kind of guy.
I would totally, yeah. Any instrument would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like in the movies, like they'll just be sitting with their family and just pull out the guitar and
Oh
start
yeah,
playing.
like or by the cabin or campfires and stuff. You
It's
know.
never too late.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that a person's born with?
No.
Like is something anybody can learn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Like I think there's a lot more hard work and practice between or behind like actual talent.
Yeah.
And I'll stand
Hard
by
work
that. Mm-hmm.
pays off. Absolutely, especially when you unlock that creativeness, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about like the covering then. So
Mm-hmm.
you got what got you into that? Like, we're listening to the song, were you like, I really want to sing this, or was like, you know, I wonder what it would sound like if I put my own spin on it
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I think it was just the culture that I grew up in.
Okay.
Like at the time, YouTube covers were such a big thing, especially acoustic covers.
Okay.
So I would follow these YouTube artists, is what they used to call them back in the day.
Right.
Maybe even now, but they would just literally every time a new song came out, like 2 days later, you'd see somebody covering it, and that was how they picked up on like the views and the stream counts. Is
Yeah.
Right.
you kind of like follow the hype, right, of that top 40 song.
Yeah.
And if you could get your song out, your cover out first before everybody else did, then you had a higher chance of maybe getting discovered or
I always
things
wondered
like
how
that.
that worked.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
There's like a theory that like as in the EDM community right now, I also do vocals for like electronic dance music and stuff
Oh.
like that.
Is that what EDM,
Like-
electronic dance music? Okay.
Yeah, like that. So you'll hear these like remixes of songs,
Yeah.
popular songs, and what they're trying to do is recreate every single like top 40 song that's ever been on the radio
Wow.
Yeah.
as a remix or a cover because it's proven to do well already.
Right.
So why not just replicate what does well?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How long ago was that you got involved with the YouTube?
So I was 15, so like
15?
11 years.
So you first dropped a cover song, and were people just immediately feeling it and
Yeah.
subscribing and commenting?
I think
and-
that's like what happened. I didn't like go like like viral, like Justin Bieber
Yeah.
viral,
Right.
but I remember posting that "Marry You" cover. I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and all of a sudden, that next day, I'd be like refreshing the YouTube, what is it, counts? You know, like the views.
Yeah.
And it'd be like 100 more, and I'd
Wow.
refresh it 30 seconds later, 100 more.
30
and
seconds
Yeah,
later?
and I just remember like obsessing, like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Like people are listening to me.
Must have been
Yeah.
a high in itself just seeing that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that every 30 seconds?
Oh my gosh.
100 more.
Yeah,
100 more.
just being in comedy and posting like a lot of my comedy videos and stuff, it's always nice when you go back to it and be like, dang, you know, all of a sudden, you know, it went from like 10 views to like 100. I remember back when 100 views was where it was at. Like,
Yeah.
I'm famous, you know, like, yeah, it was good times and stuff. So so you did covers. Do you have a favorite cover that you ever did?
Oh gosh.
Or is there a lot of them?
I don't think I have any. Actually, yeah, I do have a favorite cover.
there you go.
I picked up the ukulele too, like sometime then, because it's super easy to learn.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 4 strings.
I got these fat fingers,
yeah.
man. I don't think I could ever pull
I
that.
think you could totally do it. I believe in you.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But there's a song called "Bottom Dollar" by Deep Pride at the time. I think he goes by Pride now, but he was having some competition or something to like do covers of it, and so I did my take as a female response, and I changed up the lyrics and I made it into this like female version, and it took off in his little fan base community.
Okay.
And did really well. And since then, I still have people like coming up to me like through comments saying, "Are you the bottom dollar girl?"
The bottom dollar
The
girl.
bottom dollar girl. So that was probably like the most fun I ever had with a cover.
Yeah, that's what's up. And I was also thinking about like genres. Like, do you have a favorite genre that you played?
I get this question asked a lot, and I still, like, to this day, I don't think I have a favorite genre, but I do find myself listening to, like, pop and R&B, but mostly, like, very much pop music.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always get confused at that. Like, so Justin Bieber, Timberlake, and all them, they're considered pop, right?
I think so.
And then,
It's like, me too. I'm
yeah,
confused.
I always get confused at that and stuff. It always blows my mind. Okay, so
K-pop's kind of the new hype.
Yeah.
How do you feel about K-pop?
I used to be a huge Big Bang fan back when they came out. This is a Korean boy band. I was
Okay.
obsessed. Like,
Yeah.
I knew every single one of their songs.
it's called the Big Bang or
No, they're called Big Bang.
Big Bang. Okay.
Yeah. I had their poster. I had my dad order me their album, like, from Asia because I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was such a huge fan. Do I love K-pop? I appreciate it, but I'm definitely not, like, a diehard fan like I was before.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, how about you?
I don't. I like all music
Right.
that sounds good. My wife, she's really into K-pop.
Yeah?
I think the band's called like YB2K something. There's like 5-6 dudes.
I don't know.
YB2K. She likes it.
Yeah, that's what's up. So when you got into, like actual songwriting, before we hop into Sideline Girl, which was, it's a track. I love it.
It is a
y'all,
track.
Y'all definitely got to
Thank
listen
you.
to that. It's a whole vibe.
It's so catchy.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think it is.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Like when I heard I was searching for people, to possibly have on the show. And then I remembered you were a singer. And so I was like, let me hop on YouTube, hear some of her stuff. And I hit my boy
Yeah.
Jay up, like, Jay, you got to listen to Amanda Yang, man. Like, I think she's going to go somewhere with this,
I appreciate that.
And I don't knock people and stuff, but sometimes when you get that, like, oh, okay, we'll support, or like, okay, yeah, they sound pretty good, but it's like karaoke style,
Yeah.
But when I heard yours, I was like, once I heard that curl you got, I was like, okay.
Wait, what was that? Can you do that again?
Yeah, do that again.
Definitely, and like Sideline Girl's definitely like I really hope it's a summer vibe for you. I really hope it's going to be huge, during the summer, because I can see
Yeah.
a lot of people really feeling it, even
then-
from a
Thank
male's
you.
perspective.
Yeah,
so.
like after I listened to it, like I could hear it in my head still. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
For
so
quite a while
great.
afterwards. That makes me believe. Like, how when you hear a catchy song and it's just you can't get it out your head? That's how Sideline Girl is.
You know what's crazy about that song is I sat on it for a whole year and a half before I released it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just didn't think I was ready to do it.
Yeah. Well, can we get into the whole creative process of coming up with that song?
Yeah.
So did you make the music for that song also, or did you buy music, like instrumentals
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that?
yeah. I know some people like to shop for beats and then write
Yeah.
on the beats and stuff. This one was completely constructed from scratch.
Okay.
So,
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So do you start the beats and music first, or did you already have the song? Like, I just want to hear the whole creative
Yeah.
process. I'm super
yes,
intrigued by it.
absolutely. This song, and also just my songwriting in general, I start from a million different like angles. I don't
Okay.
have one way that works the best for me. I think it just depends on the mood and the day and the season.
Sure.
But for Sideline Girl, I think like I noticed that every like celebrity that made it big had their very sad, depressing love song, and I was like, you know what? Like, I need that. I need my sad, depressing love song.
Right.
And I think, well, every artist, like, you know, like DMX, even when they, you know, it's a real song when you can feel what they're pouring into that. And I really feel like Sideline Girl did it. And like we were just talking about the whole cutting the cursing out and stuff, it works. You know what I mean? Like, I was up in the car just like, I'm just like looking at people, like just feeling the vibe. So
I love that. Thank you.
So you said you made the beat first.
Yes. So I taught myself Logic. Logic X. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's a digital audio workstation.
Oh yeah.
Through Apple.
Okay.
It's like their flagship DAW. Yeah. So I like used some like loops that they had offered, and I was like, oh, this sounds like pretty decent. Like I layered some drums. I was like, oh, that's cool. What else? I found some weird like loop that I put some chords in, and it sounded really good. So I was like, ooh, what if I sung like to this?
Right.
And so I just started like recording my vocals and doing like one takes, like freestyling over it.
Got it.
Came up with something, and I was like, this could be something.
Yeah.
So I had the verse and the chorus down, and so usually I just repeat the same melody, and then go into the writing. Sometimes it happens all at once. I can't remember if I did the writing and the melody all at once when I did Sideline Girl.
That would have been a creative overload right there. Like
it took me a minute. I remember like having a snip of it, right? And like downloading, bouncing. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Bouncing this track out, sending it to my closest girlfriends at the time, Isabel and Michaela. I was like, what do you guys think about this? And they hit me back with a holy shit. Like, you need to finish this song. And I was like, okay,
that's 100% approval rating right there. You know, okay.
So I ended up finishing the writing and sent it to this guy named Jake Fine, who recently just like wrote a song with Russ, which is super cool.
Okay. I think, did you? Yeah, you posted something about that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He's so talented. I found him through TikTok, and we just like messaged each other. So I was like, "Do you produce?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You want to produce this song?" And he's like, "Okay." So I sent him like what I had already done. And basically sent him my whole vision. Like I map it out. I'm like, I want it to sound like production like this song. I want guitar here, and like very detailed, usually the type of vibes I want to catch.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we collaborate together, but mostly like that magic of the making it come to life came from Jake. So he is a very, very, very skilled guitar player.
Yeah.
And wrote.
And this is a friend of yours?
I would like to think we're friends now, yes.
That's what's up.
But he lives in, I think, Connecticut.
Okay.
And he graduated from Berkeley, and he makes TikTok videos of like guitar pieces that he writes, and people like duet him on TikTok. He also is an artist himself. He does lo-fi music under another moniker, and then he also does his own music as well. But yeah, so that's how Sideline Girl got created, and it took a while because it was a lot of back and forth. Like, he'd send me a mix and be like, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "Can you change this?" And it was such a process.
It's good to not rush into something, especially if you held on to it that long. That meant something to you, you know, and you wanted to make sure it was perfect.
Is it a personal story or a story of a friend, or is it a make-believe story?
Yeah.
A little bit of everything?
I feel like it's a little bit of everything, because when I was writing it, essentially, like, I was thinking of, I mean, everybody's felt like the Sideline Girl before.
Sure.
At least I think everyone has.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I had a song I wrote way, way, way back in high school where I was definitely the Sideline Girl, and that song also did decently when connecting with people.
Yeah.
And I think just like channeling those emotions, but also I wanted to write a song that could be played in like a teenage rom-com heartbreak scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it sounds so weird to like describe my songwriting in a sense of like I want to put it in this scene in this movie type of
no,
thing.
not at all.
Is it not?
I think like you're thinking outside the box. That's huge. So
if you don't know, Jay does music.
Did.
Not so much nowadays.
Not so much. I mean, I'm old now, but you know, like not enough to rap about no
perform
more.
shows and has so many songs, and
a lot of like my style's poetic. That was my stage name, and you know, I came from more of a I had like me and my boy Red. We had a group called Midwest. He was more the gangster of the group, and I was more the street poet. You know what I mean? And so it was a good vibe. Always reminded us of like Outkast. You know what I mean? We just had that really good vibe, and like both of us drew. A lot of our songwriting came from pain of trauma, PTSD, just everything we've been through in our lives. So I can relate 100% when it comes to putting it all on the line. Yeah,
right. Your styles complemented each other really well.
Yeah.
Two different styles coming together. And
I love telling stories. Stories was really like the strong part right there.
That's where it's at. It's like telling that story that like in 3 minutes that you only get. How do I do that in like a really impactful way?
Yep, exactly. How do you get their attention? Like, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, when I made especially my deep songs, like I would hope someone would cry from it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you ever like play a song and all of a sudden you replay and you're like, you feeling it like, oh, God. You know what I mean? It just hits you. So I can see a lot, and I agree with you when you say, there's a lot of women out there that probably feel like the Sideline Girl. And what I love about it, though, is I feel like this can broaden a lot, too. This could reach the LGBTQ plus IA community. There's a lot of people that can just relate to just being that sideline person,
Right.
Feeling less appreciated or, and stuff like that. So big props to you on that one.
Big ups.
Thank you. And it's funny that you say that they can, like, span, like, other emotions, too, because I held on to that song for a year. And then, like, a year later, I was having some issues with a friend where I felt like super taken for granted and like really sad and my emotions are crazy. And I listened to Sideline Girl again, and it like had me in my feelings because I was like, oh my gosh, like I am the Sideline Girl right now.
Facts.
Why did you feel that you weren't ready and had to wait for that year?
I think at the time I was trying to convince myself that I didn't want to be a musician. I didn't want to be famous.
That's
I
where
was
that
like,
self-doubt was coming in.
Yes, a lot of that. And like I've had to really grow with myself and ask myself, like, do you really not want anyone to hear your music? And the answer is no, I want the whole world to hear my music. Right. So what was I doing trying to convince myself that I wasn't good enough and all these other just like insecurities of mine?
Yeah.
I do a lot of covers, so I think there was this misconception with my original music and my covers that if my original music doesn't get the same traction as my covers, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Right.
And that comes up a lot, right?
Yeah.
Your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy, especially when it comes to creating something. Like in your head, you think like we've done before, like we'll come up with an idea, think it's funny as hell, like people are gonna love it. And then next day we're like, hey, should we post? Let's wait on this. You know what I mean? Like let's just hold it out. Maybe we'll bust it out during a party or something and stuff. So one thing that I really intrigued me when I was listening to that and a lot of your music was I personally have never even heard really of Hmong artists, especially female Hmong artists. So that was huge to me, and to be honest, I felt like you sounded like who you are. You didn't fit any certain category. You sounded like you and us. So I was curious to know within the Hmong community, like, how did they react or how do they react? Was it a cultural issue or anything like that when it comes to creating music and stuff or?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. That's a really good question. So growing up, I feel like maybe I was integrated in that Hmong music community for a while.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, I just started really just focusing on English songs. And because of that, I think I might have like gone off on a different path than a lot of the other Hmong artists and like musicians have gone through, because they write music in Hmong. So
they do.
Yeah, they do. There's actually a huge community here of like the Hmong music artists, and they do pop, R&B, hip hop, like and traditional music. It's literally the whole span of it, but a lot of it only exists on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And
is there a reason for that? Like
I don't know.
Or just not enough people have gone further than that.
Yeah, I think they just prefer it. I know that, like, just speaking from, like, my own experiences, like, my grandma loves YouTube because she gets to watch her relatives, like, posting their videos because that's where they put it on YouTube. So I think just a lot
it's the easiest way to get to it, that's for sure.
So it's just, YouTube is just more accessible, and it's free. You don't have to pay a membership to watch what you want to watch.
Absolutely. Gotta love that.
So how did they react? I feel like I'm so not in the Hmong community in that sense that I couldn't answer that question honestly.
There was a post I saw you post where you got really personal with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was deep.
Thank you.
Did you get a good response from that and everything? Like, so you were talking about, like, you felt like you had no place in a certain sense, or kind of in that purgatory of where do I fall in, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the literal conversation I've been having with myself for the past, like, 11 years, right? I'm not this traditional Hmong girl. When I go to parties and people, like, I've seen alcohol is a very big, like, player in the Hmong community.
Okay.
I like alcohol, don't get me wrong. Like, I love to party when I'm in the mood to do it, and I like to drink when the setting is right. But like, I've also seen, like, what can happen when you peer pressure someone to drink, and it's not pretty, and it doesn't make people feel good. And so I was always, like, at events and people would make people drink, and I'd be like, I'm gonna dump this drink, like, down the sink right now, right? If you don't respect that, this person said no.
Yeah.
And that's not, like, what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, you held your ground, though. Good for you.
Thank you. And so that's how I've always been. And also, in addition to that, I'm not the best, like, fluent speaker in Hmong. So that already, I feel like, has made me feel very discredited as Hmong.
Got you.
And I also don't sing in Hmong. So I have all these things, and I want to make it very clear, like, this is my own self, like, telling myself, right? This is my own internal conflict.
That's what's up.
And I convinced myself that, like, I would never be a great person to represent the Hmong community because I can't even speak fluent Hmong. I don't sing in Hmong. I sing in English. And
Well, listen, you taught yourself to play a guitar.
right.
I'm confident you could learn the Hmong language.
Yeah.
I know Hmong. I, like, communicate with my grandma and everything, but it's at such a point, like, it's not.
The pressure is kind of there and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Right.
we just got to make sure you keep reminding yourself, like, you know, like we always say, like, I'm a mixed race baby, but I don't speak for all mixed race babies out there. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep,
Like,
yep.
I am who I am, you know, and I think what makes me authentic as myself for years has always been more like, I have no shame, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem putting myself out there and making fun of either my weight or my extra wolf tooth and, you know, my balding head and stuff like that, because I always felt like somebody out there, there's billions of people here, somebody relates to that. And if I can make them feel better, you know, even one, then mission accomplished, you know what I mean?
I love that you said that, because that's what I'm putting my life behind right now, is just trying to serve someone other than myself.
Sure.
And when it comes to, like, when it came to me posting that, the night before, oh my gosh, I'm gonna really out myself here. The night before, I was, like, having a panic attack in an Applebee's booth with my fiance about the same context.
Panic attack in the Applebee's booth.
Sounds like a rap song. 666 Mafia.
I was, like, telling my fiance, I was like, I'm such an imposter. Like, why do I feel this way? I hate this. And he's like, you need to just be honest with yourself and post about it and tell them how you feel.
Yeah.
Someone out there feels exactly like you do. And I'm like, no, I'm too embarrassed. And then the next day I did it. I was like, fuck it.
Well, you never know. Like,
Right.
with this podcast alone, even there might be, you know, whoever watches it, we might have one male or female or, you know, whatever cisgender from the Hmong community that might see this and be inspired by it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's really just about keep moving forward and keep doing you.
Right. And I want to be the most authentic version of myself moving forward. Like, that's why I put Sideline Girl up, because I was determined to be ready
Right.
and grow through it.
Have you thought about putting that in music videos? Like, have you done music videos and stuff? And
Yeah, I've done, I think, 1 or 2 music videos in the past. And it's super easy to do it, right? You just got to find the right videographer.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you guys know anyone and are good storytellers,
I know one of them.
I mean,
people.
I'll be honest, like, when it comes
what is that face?
I know
looking
one
at-
of
he's
those.
looking at me,
Is
you
it
know.
you?
Even though, like, that would be an amazing project, don't get me wrong, because for one, like I said, I love storytelling, and so when I'm listening to, especially to music and stuff, it's like trying to put that story together would be great. But, you know, like, with my camera and stuff, in this day and age, they have so much a different style of cameras you have to have to get that good feel for it. But with that being said, though, the way and the success that's coming with this single, I think you're not going to have a problem finding one. You know what I
True.
mean? Like, anyone that's watching this right now, if you're a videographer that shoots films, videos, holler at Miss Amanda Yang, you know what I mean? And see, obviously, you know, we're still on the come up. So, you know, free 99 is always good. You know what I mean? Get your work out there, you know, help her, help you, you know what I mean? So,
have you been thinking about a remix on that song yet?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, what's your idea? If
So,
you don't mind us asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I want
Good question.
to make a open verse. Have you seen those challenges where people put their music to an open verse? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. TikTok
Yeah,
does
just-
that a lot. I was just going to bring that up.
Just let them do it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
I think you should definitely do it. Do you have like a music page yet on TikTok?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I think I did. I followed you on, like, is that your music page then on TikTok? Okay.
I do a bunch of stuff on there.
Yeah.
On TikTok. Yesterday, I accidentally posted a video of me eating in my car on my story.
Accidentally?
I meant to save it because I wanted to use the video for something else.
Yeah.
And I just hit post and I was like, oh, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just gonna
It's
live there now.
authentic. You know what I mean? Like,
Were you eating a Big Mac?
yeah.
I was eating kimbap from Dongyang.
Okay.
It's this Korean deli and store.
Okay.
I think like in Hillside or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed on TikTok is that, like a lot of artists, even big name artists, you know, they have their team, like Meg Thee Stallion and all them, have them put those clips on that TikTok.
Really?
And people, that's how, like, I'm a savage, classy, bougie, however that goes. People, it got into my head and other people's head, not because they heard it all the time on the radio, it's because when COVID hit, you know, TikTok blew up, and that was huge, you know? So, like, people creating dances to it, people creating their version, like what you should do is, like, how do you interpret Sideline Girl? Like, you know, play the song for them. Like, let them see who can shoot a video for that, you know, and stuff. And just any ways to kind of keep getting the name out there, which I'm sure it's doing fine just by itself right now, though. So
I think a little muscle and hard work behind it
Yeah.
could serve it.
And you do have, you said you got merch too?
yes.
Yeah, let's check some of this out.
So I got this hat. It
Okay.
comes in black and pink. So I must pass this down to you.
Okay.
And then I also have this shirt, which is a
Amanda
Sideline
Yang.
Girl album art
Oh, there you go.
here.
Here you go, bro.
And should I like fold this? Let's see.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
This is on my website, so if you guys want to check it out, at
What's your website?
AmandaYangOfficial.com.
Amanda Yang official. That always sounds official when you say official.
Official.
Like this is the one of Amanda Yang, you know. So this is the shirt right here, y'all. So on Amanda Yang official, you know, go check it out and stuff. You know, get it on there.
Do you
Be
have
on the
those in
show,
extra medium?
I do.
Nice, nice. I'm kidding.
Oh,
Is there really an extra medium?
no.
Oh, okay. He's like, I'm kidding too, motherfucker.
So do you have any plans going into the summer? Like with this song, obviously, do you have any others like in the works?
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I do have another song in the works. And I have a show coming up on June 4th
Okay.
with other Hmong artists. So
That's what's up.
Yep,
Congratulations.
So I'm super
Is that
excited.
in Wisconsin?
That is in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Hey, we could maybe take a trip.
You could. It's
You said June 4th?
June 4th. Yep.
And where at?
It's called Oh Juicy. So it's EAU space Juicy. It's a seafood restaurant. They also have like a whole setup where you can do shows and everything.
Got it.
Wow. Good for you.
Performing with some other very talented artists.
Right, right.
So I'm excited.
Gene made a very good point
What's
about
up?
what we're doing, right? About with Shout Out Loud.
Yeah. So I know you had spoke to me when we were messaging back and forth on Messenger, and you were touched by the suicide awareness and prevention.
yes.
Because you said you had a loved one or a friend that had completed suicide.
Oh, damn. My condolences. I'm so sorry to hear that.
you.
And Shout Out Loud, they're having a big event for Suicide Awareness Month.
Yep.
And that's September.
I believe October.
Is it October?
Early October. Big shout out to Laura and Brittany.
Yeah.
With Shout Out Loud and everything. And so we said that we are going to be hopefully setting up a booth there. So
Right.
Level Up with Gina J is going to make its first like public appearance, actually be there and stuff. So that's going to be exciting. But what we noticed is when we were putting together the video for this podcast, I'm pulling all this B-roll and stuff. And I noticed that they had a lot of performers and stuff. And I was like, I was telling Gina, I was like, there's a lot of people people that are performing. And when
They have a
he brought up
stage,
you,
performers.
so he was like, dude, like maybe throw that out to Amanda. She might be interested. Maybe introduce y'all, and you
Kind
never
of put
know.
you on the spot right here. But
Yes.
yeah, something maybe if you're interested, we could talk to
Yes, please.
talk to them and get you up there. You know what I mean?
I would
And-
love to be a part of that mission.
We have to be honest, is that like real good music, like kind of like Sideline Girls, that stuff that really gets you in your feels, that stuff that really hits home, and mental health and stuff like that. And so, that might be something that could help broaden in, your chances out there and stuff and everything. And we also have a friend of mine, his name's Malik, right? Yeah, Malik. Shout out to Malik. I knew him back from for years now and stuff, and he's always kind of done his own music, like hip hop and stuff like that. But what I like about him is that he's got this different vibe to him, not like this new age, but not like old age either. It's kind of like a mixture. So like, when Gene sent me your music and stuff, and like just that following weekend, I hung out with some friends and I met him and stuff, and we were hanging out, catching up. I'm like, send me your music, bro. Like, I always tell him that, just try to support. And he's like, for sure, bros, for sure. Really humble guy, real good kid. And he sends it to me, and I'm listening to this like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Oh my!
man.
I sent it to Gene. I was like, "What do you think, bro?" And what'd you say? Like,
I loved his voice and his cadence. And
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need one of you guys to send this to me so I can also
Yeah,
be part of this.
absolutely.
Oh my
definitely
gosh.
listen to it afterwards. And we were even like, dude, we got to let Amanda listen to this guy, and it would be awesome if you guys liked
Collab,
each other's
yeah,
like styles.
you
and
never know.
somehow collabed and came up with some things.
and like
But-
right when Gene hit me back, like he was like, dude, he was like, hold up. And he calls me and stuff. He was like, dog, like, wouldn't that be amazing if like we introduce Malik and Amanda together, and all of a sudden, like, this is the beginning of like a beautiful friendship of like this collaborations. Cause when Gene said earlier about the Sideline Girl remix, like I could totally see Malik doing his version of the, his remix on there. He's got like there's like a real subtle like tone to him.
Okay.
He doesn't go like hardcore rap, you know what I mean? He throws it out every once in a while, but he's got like, it always reminds me of like a smooth, like J. Cole style and stuff, but in its own originality. So,
Okay, then I definitely need to hear this.
yeah, we'll
What,
definitely get that to you.
What ideas did you have for your remix? Do you have any ideas on that yet?
I would love to see among artists
Yeah.
do their take on it, to like do a blend of like an American or English and Hmong version, just to see. Because when I listen to the song, it reminds me of a lot of the Hmong music I used to listen to as a kid.
Okay.
It's very sad. It's about love, and it has like the twinkly sounds in it that I used to hear all the time in Hmong music. But then also just like that open verse and just seeing like where that grows it to. 'Cause
Yeah.
Right.
there might be someone out there in, I don't know, like Idaho or something. And like they really just transform the song, and I'll just have to do a version with
Yeah.
them.
Well, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you. And like real quick too, like I remember one thing when Gene was telling me about your music and stuff, he's like, bro, on Spotify, she's got like 1 million views or streams or something like
listeners.
Listeners.
You have over 1 million listeners, right?
Isn't that crazy?
That's
And how does that
insane.
feel? Knowing 1 million people have heard your voice.
this. Yeah.
It is wild.
That must be a wonderful feeling and
Yeah.
out of body experience.
Yeah,
feeling.
I'm so grateful for it. I feel like I've like manifested it somehow. Now the goal is to get them all to know what my face looks like.
Right, right.
But
Absolutely.
it's super, super cool.
Yeah, I
I-
could imagine.
It makes me feel really validated, like I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And just again, those streams, like a lot of it's cover, you said too, like cover songs and stuff, but everyone interprets each song cover in their own way. So the way you sing these covers is what's really getting these people's
Right.
attention. Like,
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean? That curl, and like people are.
I need
people
that
are
on a
loving
video.
that.
So what about Facebook? You I think you're over 30,000 subscribers on Facebook.
I think
Dang.
on YouTube I have 30,000.
Or not Facebook. YouTube.
Congrats
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
We're only like, 29,487 away from that. But
That's like what? Just
We're
a walk.
climbing, right.
You're super close.
yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Thank you. And then on Facebook, I have like 10,000. But these are like people who have slowly like been listening and like since I was 15, you know. So I haven't posted very much on YouTube recently. So that's something like I used to monetize my videos, but then I hadn't posted in such a long time. They demonetized my channel.
Okay.
Oh, really?
It was a minute, yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to gain that back. So if anyone from YouTube is watching this, please let me monetize my videos again.
And it's just Amanda Yang on there? Amanda Yang.
Amanda Yang. Oh, wait. You know what? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I think I changed it to Amanda Yang.
Absolutely. And then do you have like, is it just like music, or are you doing like talking about certain subjects? Do you have a podcast on there as well or something? Or
oh, that'd be so cool. Nope, just music on there right now.
Cover? Like, do you play the acoustic and stuff like that?
Every now and then you'll find like a few like in my history that I've uploaded before of me playing guitar too, just like a one take of me singing a song. Yeah. But yeah, you'll see mostly a still image and me uploading like the audio that I'd recently just like published on Spotify or something like that, just so I can have it all in one spot. You know?
Right. So do you have any other upcoming events coming up besides the Wisconsin thing?
I think that's the only one I've got on the books so far.
Right.
I would love to perform live more. That's definitely a part of me that I'm not very confident on stage.
Sure.
But it's really fun, like, once I get out of the anxiety, you know, and you're really, like, in the crowd with them.
Do you have a promoter?
I don't.
No? Well, I mean, maybe we could talk to Soda the Partier, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Shout out to Soda the Partier.
Throw him some of your music. Let him hear it.
Try and get him back out the woodwork. You know what I mean? Like, what a way to crack it off, too, man. Like,
man.
He did really good, getting a lot of promotions. And, like, I remember back when he was doing it, like, he had a lot of people that were showing up at these concerts. So that's definitely an outlet. Like, that's a really good question to ask, too. Like, what can we do through our podcast, through our channel? Like, what can we do to help you out at all? Like, just share your music, get the word out there. And I
think you guys are doing it. Like, you guys are just offering all of these like gold nuggets to me right now.
Right?
We just want to see you succeed.
Yeah,
we both
absolutely.
loved your voice, and we're like,
Thank you.
dude, we got to do whatever we can to try to help her.
I appreciate that a lot.
It's a different vibe, and people need to jump on it. I mean, especially like when you look at rap nowadays, it's been the same damn thing over and over again. But for some reason, it blew up. It blew up a lot of unnecessary artists, you know what I mean? And it's annoying when you hear some people that are just like trash, you know, but then you hear people like you, and it's like, you need that chance. You know, I could literally see you killing it, especially like an acoustic or something like that. And do you want to give us a sample at all? Like,
No.
Kind of wait for that. Y'all go ahead and play Sideline Girl. You get all get it all from there.
Yeah, you should give all of your social media information. Right now.
Yeah.
And let everybody know. So
I try to make it really easy. You guys can all find me at Amanda Yang Music. That's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, even Facebook, I think, like facebook.com/Amanda Yang Music.
Okay.
And then if you don't want to remember all that, just go to AmandaYangOfficial.com, and I have little icons you can click to go right to every social media.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Amanda, I just want to say for sure that keep doing it.
Thanks.
Keep pushing it. When that doubt comes in, take that doubt as the challenge. You know, I don't know how many times I've doubted things that I didn't want to do and stuff, but like, it's always important. Like, if you feel it in your gut, then just go with it. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is people don't like it, or people do, but it gets people talking. You know what I mean? And like Gene said, like, it's not like you do have raw talent. And that's important to know. So just keep pushing forward, and we're really happy for you and all your success.
Yeah, we hope the best for you, and
thank you.
We
so
appreciate
much.
you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for asking me. Like, this is everything right now.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And if y'all back at home, if y'all have any questions for Amanda, please drop them down in the comments, like we always like to say.
Yeah, get on Spotify and listen to her song "Sideline Girl."
Yeah,
it's super catchy.
Yep.
It's her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
hop on, listen to it. Immediately.
Put it in a playlist. Put it in your summer playlist
I like that
it's gonna
one.
be in my summer playlist. And I, like I said, I'm a male, but I'm a sideline girl. Like I'm gonna be bumping that this summer, y'all. So please join in on that. Help an artist, support an artist. We got especially local. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, let's
show
hear it.
that love, share that, comment on here, like this video and everything like that. You know what I mean? And
buy my merch.
We
Yes.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Is there
Sorry, I
anything
got short
else
arms.
that you wanted to add to before we wrap it up?
I feel like I was really nervous doing this podcast, which
okay.
is very authentic.
you did a great job.
You did great.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that it's very clear that I'm very proud to be who I am.
Yeah.
And I take accountability for everything that I'm experiencing, but just trying to really push it back out into the world as something positive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we love that. I mean, it's very rare when you get a lot of artists that are coming out. They always trying to be somebody else. You
Oh
know
my
what I
God.
mean? And you're being your authentic self.
That's
I
not
think
me.
that's what's really, in my opinion, is what's going to open those doors for you. So,
Thank you.
Amanda, thank you so
Thanks for
much for
being
taking
here.
time to be on our show. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Like we said, if you have questions for Amanda, please drop them down in the comments. But other than that, thank y'all for leveling up with
Gene.
And I'm Jay, and we'll see y'all later. Take care.